All of those who lost their lives that day and the heroes that saved so many.
But for one local man, the anniversary has another meaning. Our Brett Vetter joins us live in our Killeen studio with the story of one local man who narrowly escaped death that day too. Brett, what happened?
Frank Hernandez was driving down the road on the morning of 9/11 when he struck a mobile home being towed by a truck. After tumbling down into a ditch, he woke up moments later, impaled with a piece of plywood.
The board that was on the framing of the mobile home came through my windshield, and it punctured me and went through my chest.
Former Bell County Sheriff Deputy Frank Hernandez will remember 9/11 in a way that most will not.
I remember the impact, and then I remember waking up as I was coming down the hill, and then I hit the tree at the bottom of the hill, and I spun around underneath it, underneath the foliage and stuff, and I woke up from that point, and I was awake from that point.
Traveling northbound along South Loop Highway 121, Frank clipped an oversized mobile home being towed down the highway in the opposite direction.
I was underneath that, down there in the ravine, underneath the tree down there for about 2 hours before, 2 hours before they found me.
Convinced that he had hit something, the tow truck driver turned around and traced his tracks until he found Frank's car and called paramedics.
They shut the loop down, and the ambulances and the police showed up on the scene when they found out that I was located. And the paramedic that arrived on scene, John Mendoza, he was a friend of mine, and he jumped in the car and started my IV, and he was kind of keeping me calm and everything. And
slowly waking up in the ICU, Frank remembers being told about the 9/11 attack.
I found out about the towers falling that day about a week after the accident, because I was in ICU at the hospital, and it just meant a whole bunch of different things to me at the time.
Miraculously, Frank has managed to make a full recovery, but will always remember the men and women who saved his life that day.
Most of the people were my colleagues that I worked with, and the ambulance crews, and of course the law enforcement agency, because I was a sheriff's deputy at the time, and they were all my friends, and they all knew me, and they were surprised to see what had happened, and they took the best care of me.
At the time of the accident, Frank was wearing the bulletproof vest he wore every day as a sheriff's deputy, something paramedics say may have saved his life. Reporting live in Killeen, Brett Vetter, 25 News.